story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello, welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Gift Ogete. In our major story, Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics call off 10-month-old strike it embarked upon in October 2013. Also in this program, Nigeria Police Force say credible intelligence at their disposal indicates terrorists have perfected a plot to attack Abuja transport service. Also in Abuja, traffic came to a standstill along the Kefi-Abuja road after a fuel-laden truck crashes on the highway on Saturday morning. And outside Nigeria, Israel vows to continue airstrike on Gaza City as latest attacks push up death toll to over 100. Thanks for joining us again. Now details of the headlines. Polytechnic teachers have called off their 10-month strike. This was the outcome of the meeting of the leadership of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, that ended in the early hours of Saturday. The meeting was called to deliberate on the interaction ASUP leaders had with the new Education Minister, Ibrahim Shekarau, few hours after he assumed office. ASUP spokesman Clement Chairman confirmed that the strike had been called off and says lecturers are expected to resume on Tuesday. Suspected assassins have killed a senior journalist in Kaduna, northwest Nigeria. Ustaz Yunus, who is the general manager of New Democrat, a Kaduna-based weekly newspaper, was shot dead in his home on Friday night. Police spokesman Aminu Lawal confirmed the incident and says investigations have begun into the killing. Journalists in Kaduna Metropolis are already suspecting that Yunus was shot dead by hired killers because nothing was removed from his residence. The police say there are credible intelligence reports of a plot by terrorists to carry out attacks on the Abuja transport service. Consequently, the FCT Police Commissioner Joseph Mbu has been directed to beef up security at motor parks and bus terminals in Abuja and its environs. Police spokesman Frank Amba says the intended attacks are likely to be through suicide bombings or improvised explosive devices concealed in luggage, bags or cans. The police therefore wants members of the public to be vigilant and report any suspicious persons, objects or activities to security forces without delay. Meanwhile, the police authorities have advised residents not to panic as security forces are taking steps to neutralize and effectively deal with the security threat. The police also wants management of motor parks and bus terminals to carry out thorough searches on passengers and their bags, as well as vehicles entering and leaving their parks. In addition, they want park operators to discourage overnight parking of vehicles, particularly by unknown persons. Meanwhile, the police have again reaffirmed that they could be reached on the following hotlines: FCT Police Control Room 0805 or 0705 733 7653, Force Intelligence Bureau Operations Room 0813 937 9245, 0807 650 624, and National Emergency Line 122 112. Nigeria and the United States are to strengthen strategies to tackle threats of terrorism facing the country and bring insurgent activities to an end. This was the outcome of a meeting between Senate President David Mark and the U.S. Ambassador James Nwissel in Abuja. Both men lamented the countless number of lives and property already lost to terror attacks and are keen on ending the cycle of violence. Mark specifically pointed out that Boko Haram is not only a threat to Nigeria, but also poses a great danger to human existence. He says the threat is much more closer than was before imagined because, while also noting that the insurgents have wider networks and support outside Nigeria. He added that everything humanly possible is being done by the Nigerian government to free hostages, especially the girls of Chibok Secondary School currently held by Boko Haram. The U.S. envoy pledged the continued support and assistance of the American government to end terrorism in Nigeria. He, however, cautioned that in the war against insurgents, the security operatives should be mindful of human rights in order not to cause more damage. Traffic at weekends in Abuja is normally light, with residents moving freely on highways that are usually busy during the week. But today was different. A truck laden with fuel fell on a vehicle and blocked the Nyanya axis of the Abuja-Kefi highway. CoreTV News correspondent Pius Samuel was at the scene of the accident and now reports.
This is one of the main highways leading into the Nigerian capital, with an unusual heavy traffic for a Saturday morning. This was after a fuel tanker had an accident just before it reached this filling station to discharge its cargo. Only one car was affected, and according to eyewitnesses, the occupant was lucky to escape alive with injuries.
This thing that happened is that this NNPC tanker wanted to enter the filling station, but the brake now failed. Then it fell on this car. It was only the driver that was inside the car. He did not die, but he sustained injuries. The firefighters arrived here at 7:30 a.m. with security personnel.
Ijoma Zubike is the leader of the firefighters that rescued the situation.
Yeah, this tanker was coming from Abuja to Karusa to discharge petrol. Along the lines, he wanted to negotiate to Karu Road. The brake failed, so the driver was trying to come down with reverse, but he could not be able to control the vehicle. So the vehicle would have to go across the road and then have him part with this Golf and then somersault. Yeah, there was a victim. God was so kind to the driver. The driver sustained injury, but he's not dead. But at least if you look at the vehicle now, you say that nobody will survive, but by special grace of God, the driver survived.
Almost as soon as the accident happened, security forces moved swiftly to seal off both portions of the highway for safety reasons. And consequently, these vehicles have been on a spot for over 3 hours. Expectedly, tempers rose as the long wait in traffic continues. At about 10:37 a.m., the truck was finally removed out of the highway. These people are now free to use the road after waiting for a long time. It looks like a marketplace, but these people just preferred walking to beat the traffic gridlock. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Nigerians have been urged to be safety conscious in order to make the country a safe and healthy place to live in. Oluwaseyi Adegoke has details from the Conference of the Safety Professionals of Nigeria.
The Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria says Nigerians should be on deck to prevent loss of lives, property, and damage to the environment. National President of the Institute of Safety and Professionals of Nigeria, Nnamdi Iliduba, says the body stands to stop mishaps in the country.
The Act, amongst other things, confer on us greater statutory roles. With this Act as an enabling law, we are further empowered to advance the interests of safety management with regards to the welfare of Nigerian citizens. We must now begin to evidently pay attention to the conditions or places in which Nigerians work.
For his part, Executive Director of Strategy, Safety, Advocacy and Empowerment Foundation, Jamiu Badmus, says Nigerians' attitude to safety need a drive.
Our attitude to the country is not my portion, God forbid. It's not with me, in Jesus' name, in Allah's names. This has been our attitude. It's that attitude we need to work on, and we can work on this attitude through advocacy. We need more advocates. We need to talk to people about safety, safety at home, safety in the offices, safety in various workplaces. Then there must be an enabling law. There are some laws, but we need more enabling laws that will assist us to take this drive, that will bring in enforcement to some of these safety rules that we have.
He added that awareness and education is key to the provision of good safety tips.
A lot of awareness program from the professional body that we have here. ISPON is the professional bodies for health and safety professionals. Ours is just an NGO, and we have been advocating seriously on various areas. We've gone to places, we talk to market, we talk to road people, road workers, and we continue to advocate on various aspects of health and safety. That is being done, and we'll continue to do that, to advocate more.
The organizers say the issue of safety is imperative at this time in the life of the nation, following increase in the level of insecurity across Nigeria, especially in the northeast. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The much expected commencement of biometric registration of bank customers has commenced in Lagos. The exercise took place at the head offices of selected banks in the nation's commercial hub. Sabina Izoku has more in this report.
The equipment called the biometric data capture machine have been configured, deployed and tested, and bank personnel are already trained in the preparation for the enrollment and verification of all bank customers. One of the nation's premier banks says it has long installed the machine, though not without some initial challenges.
The pilot, I believe, started in March of this year. Anything new, you should pilot any new concept and any new tool. And what it does is it even shows you some of the gaps, so shows you some of the frustrations, for example, and therefore you can then go back and recreate solutions. The minute we knew that this was going to become regulation, what we decided was that we would be proactive, yes, and we would ensure that we pilot using our own staff, so that by the time Central Bank were ready to say go live, we had already piloted this, we had trialed it, and we were ready.
The initiative was part of the financial inclusion policy of the federal government financial sector strategy, aims at assuring that Nigeria becomes one of the top 20 largest economies in the world by 2020. Many wonder why bank customers have to go through this process.
Yes, you do have some customers who felt, what is this you're asking me to do? You know, and with anything biometric, I believe that there's still a lot of work to do in terms of educating the general populace about what a biometric capture is anyway. The key thing was letting the customers know the value, the what's in it for them factor. Increased security, improved security. I don't think there's any Nigerian customer today who doesn't want that.
There is also what is called the Bank Verification Number, BVN, issued for easy identification and verification of customers. This unique identification number gives each bank customer a unique identity and done only once, which will be linked to all bank accounts across banks in the countries. The big question, however, is how many Nigerians are aware of these bank transaction security devices.
I can see the improvement of the machine is okay for the country and it's okay for the use, but I'm not aware of anything like that.
I've not used it before, but I've heard about people using it. I've never seen it physically, but I've seen it online.
I've not even heard anything about it my entire life. Maybe coming first, let's see it and let's know what it will come up with.
The benefits, according to the experts, are numerous.
Fraud, greatly reduced. Fraud for different segments of our customers. So those, for example, who are non-literate, those who are perhaps elderly, who need help with technology, who need help remembering their PIN number. Now they've got biometric. With biometric ATM machines, they don't need to use PIN numbers again. That's one. In terms of fraud generally, it's very easy now. I don't need to just rely only on signature verification. Now with biometric verification, I know it's you. it definitely has to be you, because your biometric data is unique to you. So nobody else can forge that. So there's that. There's the fact that it's supposed to make transactions faster. Once all our solutions are integrated, what that means is the time you would spend waiting for your identity to be verified is reduced.
The security equipment converts the scanned information into digital form and compares match points, and database that stores biometric data for comparison in order to verify the individual as the person he claims to be. Sabena Izoku, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Interesting. You're watching the weekend edition of CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take a break and return with business, sports, and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ghana. Please remain seated and ensure your seatbelts are fastened. You can now turn on your MTN mobile phone data to enjoy a browsing rate of 5 kobo per kilobyte with MTN One World. Thank you.
Absolutely. Browse like home with MTN One World. Surfing the web from any MTN operating country costs the same like home. Enjoy affordable rates when you call and send text messages. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN. Everywhere you go.
This one wash challenge, you test Ariel to see if it removes stains in one wash. Let the challenge begin. First, chocolate and juice. We will wash shirts with Ariel. Look, Ariel has cleaned in just one wash. So which detergent removes stains in one wash? Ariel, P&G Everyday Quality Brand.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station. You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Good to have you still. Stay tuned. It's CoreTV Primetime News. Nigerian interbank lending rates climbed slightly to an average of 10.50% this week compared with 10.25% last week as liquidity gradually decreases on funding for treasury bills and foreign exchange purchases. The cash balance held by banks at the central bank was 454 million naira, but banks expected the position to have dropped because of payment for treasury bills and foreign exchange transactions. Traders say rates could climb further next week as a state-owned energy company prepares to call a portion of its deposit with lenders to its accounts with the central bank. NNPC, which accounts for the bulk of foreign exchange traded on the interbank market, sold at about $200 million to some lenders this week, with the Naira proceeds from the forex sales expected to be withdrawn from the banking system to its account with the central bank. The U.S. government has sued Amazon.com for allowing children to collectively run up millions of dollars in purchases on the credit cards of their unsuspecting parents while playing mobile apps. The lawsuit filed by the Federal Trade Commission seeks to make the online retailer refund money spent without parental permission and to end Amazon's practice of allowing purchasers without inquiring a password or other mechanism that gives parent control over their accounts. The FTC settled a similar case with Apple in January Apple agreed to refund to customers at least $32.5 million in unauthorized charges made by children and to change its billing practices to require consent from parents for in-app spending. Venezuela's Simon Bolivar International Airport of Maiquetía demands $18 for air conditioning. Airport says its new aircon unit protects passengers' health and adds ozone to the atmosphere. The airport boasts that the system is the first of its kind in an airport anywhere in South America and the Caribbean. The breathing tax, which came into force in January and July and must be paid by all domestic and international passengers to airlines at check-in, has generated bemusement in Venezuela. And in sports, Nigerian international Ogenyi Onazi says he is making good progress after his World Cup was ended by a late tackle from Blaise Matuidi during France's win over the Super Eagles in the round of 16. The midfielder was stretchered off with a suspected broken leg during the 2-0 defeat, although tests have since shown no fracture. Coach Stephen Keshi had called for the governing body to take retrospective action against the French midfielder, but the disciplinary commission decided that no further punishment was necessary for Matuidi, who was booked for the challenge and also apologized for the tackle. Onazi says he is improving a lot and delighted to be making significant progress with his recovery. Despite the devastating heartbreak he suffered at the tournament, the 21-year-old insists that Brazil 2014 was a positive experience. The federal government is making serious efforts to pull Nigeria out of its present suspension by FIFA. CoreTV News learned that the efforts to get the country out of FIFA's hook is being coordinated by the National Sports Commission in what is seen as a bid to halt the crisis belittling the country's football. Following this, officials of NSC have landed in Brazil to explain the situation of things in the country's football to FIFA in a bid to have the ban lifted. FIFA had on Wednesday suspended Nigeria from all international football amid allegations of government interference in its football federation. The most immediate effect is that Nigeria will not be allowed to participate in the upcoming Under-20 Women's World Cup, which starts on 5th of August, with the suspension not to be lifted by 15th of July. Israel turns deaf ears to global appeal to soft pedal on air strikes against Palestinian targets as raids on Gaza claims more lives. We'll bring you details after this timeout. Stay with us.
This one wash challenge will test Ariel to see if it removes stains in one wash. Let the challenge begin. First, chocolate and juice. We will wash shirts with Ariel. Look, Ariel has cleaned in just one wash. So which detergent removes stains in one wash? Ariel, P&G Everyday Quality Brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ghana. Please remain seated and ensure your seatbelts are fastened. You can now turn on your MTN mobile phone data to enjoy a browsing rate of 5 kobo per kilobyte with MTN One World. Thank you.
Absolutely. Browse like home with MTN One World. Surfing the web from any MTN operating country costs the same like home. Enjoy affordable rates when you call and send text messages. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN, everywhere you go.
CoreTV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
Nigerians continue to
Tonight, the city of Lagos waits and gog as all routes
to you on
Be the first to know.
on CoreTV News.
From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa, we break the news.
One Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are CoreTV News.
Welcome to CoreTV,
a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. It's the weekend edition of CoreTV Primetime News. Israel pounded Gaza for a fifth day Saturday, vowing to let up its air campaign to halt rocket attacks by militants, which have killed more than 120 Palestinians. A defiant Hamas fired more rockets into Israel as the Islamist movement rejected growing international calls for a halt to hostilities, insisting Israel must act first. Diplomatic efforts to stop the violence saw U.S. President Barack Obama telephoning Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Washington offering to use its relationships in the Middle East to bring about a return to calm. Netanyahu, however, vows he would continue the military campaign until he achieved his goal of stopping the Hamas fire. Despite international concern, truce efforts have been unsuccessful, according to Egypt, which has been key in mediating previous ceasefires between Hamas and Israel. 16 Palestinians died in a wave of Israeli airstrikes on Saturday as Operation Protective Urge entered its fifth day, taking the overall death toll to 121. Meanwhile, Egypt has sent 500 tons of food and medical supplies in a convoy through the Rafah border crossing to help alleviate shortages. The UN Security Council has called for a ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. As Palestinian deaths continue to mount, all 15 members approved a statement calling for de-escalation, the restoration of calm, and the resumption of peace talks. Israel claimed it has been hit by over 40 rockets since Friday, suffering severe damage. It is the first time since Israel's offensive began that the UN Security Council has issued a statement, with members previously divided on their response. And now to Italy, where the refloating of Italy's ill-fated Costa Concordia cruise ship is set to begin Monday, with a high-risk salvage operation to raise the rusting hulk ahead its final journey to the shipyard where it was built 2.5 years after it sank off the island of Giglio in a nighttime disaster that left 32 people dead. The plan is to raise the tow away the 114,500-ton vessel in an unprecedented and delicate operation. The 290-meter ship was rotated upright in September and is now sitting on an underwater platform. 30 tanks or sponsons that have been welded to the sides will work as a pneumatic system to raise it. Under the gaze of the world's media, the operation is expected to start on Monday, with workers pumping compressed air into the sponsons to lift the Concordia by 2 meters. The environmental committee overseeing the operation gave a preliminary go-ahead on Saturday, but says that final confirmation would come on Sunday, depending on the weather. That's been our show on this week on our Primetime News. On behalf of the entire production crew, I am Gift Ogeta wishing you a very good night rest. Good night.